It is not a new holiday, but it's been called a lot of different things. Jubilee Day, Freedom Day, another Independence Day, the second Independence Day. Commonly, it is called Juneteenth, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. And we are pleased to have Trinity Professor Kimberlyn Montford with us. Professor, thank you so much for taking the time out of your holiday to be with us today. I want to talk about Juneteenth. Right off the top, do you see this as a celebration or a commemoration or both?
Yeah, actually both. I see this. I think that the holiday itself is a commemoration of an intensely powerful experience, both individually and communally for freed slaves, but also that it is that the way we express it now is a celebration of that commemoration, a celebration of that intensely powerful experience for these people, the only way we can today.
Can you talk about the history of this day? I mean, it is something that now, is on the federal calendar as a federally recognized holiday, but a lot of people still unfamiliar with what we are commemorating today.
Yeah, it's so amazing because we're in Texas, right? And Juneteenth is actually a commemoration of the enslaved peoples of Texas actually learning that they had been freed and learning this way after most of the rest of the country. And so we're talking, it's hard for us to imagine because we're generally free here, right? But imagine a period of oppression and you're suddenly freed from it. And so in the Black community, the celebrations of Juneteenth, I think, began within 1 or 2 years after it actually took place. I think a lot of people went to Galveston, where the the Emancipation Proclamation was declared, and they'd make pilgrimages there. They would have sometimes walking there. There would be prayers. There would be a number of different expressions of their deep gratitude and their deep sense of freedom. And we see a lot of different ways of thinking about it, but they really started very soon after that period.
Are you seeing Juneteenth evolve in San Antonio, evolve in South Texas?
So I think we're breaking up just a little bit, but I think if I heard your question properly, so a couple of things about Juneteenth is one of the things that we see that, yes, it's a national holiday and that's giving people the freedom to celebrate the way they wish to. But it's also a very family-oriented, community-oriented. We often see prayer breakfasts, or prayer services in churches, prayer breakfasts as well in some places, family get-together so that they could just celebrate family, which is something that you couldn't celebrate during an enslaved period, but also local celebrations. And I think that's the heart of Juneteenth, is that local aspect, that the family aspect of actually sitting and thinking about and reflecting upon and celebrating this remarkable, powerful, intense experience.
I would like to ask you, too, about something we've touched on a little bit here. It's not a new holiday, but I've heard that so often over the last couple of years. It's a new holiday. It's a new holiday on the calendar for the entire country. But how has Juneteenth been commemorated for decades in the African American and Black community?
So many different ways. For example, among a number of group of people in Oregon, there's a Black rodeo that always takes place on Juneteenth, right? There are a number of huge celebrations in Galveston because that was the seat of the acknowledgement of the Emancipation Proclamation. There, as I mentioned before, there are religious services, there are family get-togethers, cookouts, things like that. But we also see, I think, and this is relatively new because so many of our young people may not really have a sense of a deep sense of this celebration of education. We're starting to see a little bit more education, both within and without the African American community. And so the beauty of it becoming a national holiday is all of a sudden we're recognizing the fact that there needs to be some sort of education around this.
Absolutely, 100%. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that One of the first conversations I had with my friend, the late Dr. Carrie Lattimore, who's one of your colleagues, or was one of your colleagues at Trinity, was about Juneteenth. And he firmly believed that this was a celebration that may have started with the African American community, but he thinks it should be a message that spreads beyond the African American community. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. And I think that is one of the incredible, that's the incredible impact of this being made a national holiday, is all of a sudden people are saying, it's that questioning that causes people to delve deeply into whatever their experience may be and however they may feel, but they're learning more. And when you learn more about the holiday, you learn about more about slavery in America. You learn more about the post-slavery experience for African Americans. And so by bringing the national lens to this holiday, a lot of the issues around the African are also highlighted. And I think that's super, super important.
You know, we talk about how we all know that the spread of information, the way it's disseminated has changed. You think about something so powerful, so life-changing, taking 2 years to reach a group of people who would be tremendously impacted. We're upset when the Wi-Fi disconnects for a second or two. So, imagine how incredible that is. Dr. Kimberlyn Montford, thank you so much for sharing some time with us. I appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Yeah, have a great day.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.